Welcome to my first video on digital art and NFTs. There's a huge craze going around at the minute. Most of you watching this knows what it is. If you don't, there's other videos down below that you can follow. One thing that a lot of people have got back to me and said is, how did you create the digital video, the promo video for your brother's oil on beechwood CCTV series of paintings? So these are actually physical paintings that he painted with oil based paint on wood. They're images of different memorable CCTV footage which it's sort of ingrained in society's psyche for big events that have happened over the year, for news feeds and all that sort of thing. So really powerful piece. I love it. The first one that we decided to mint was this one here. I'm going to show you on screen. This is the promo video that I made for it, and that's his foundation link there. But the thing that caught people's interest was the fact that it is an oil painting, but you can see that the light highlights over the area and shows the highlighted areas and shows the shadows and that sort of thing. And I've been asked a few times, how is this actually possible if it's a physical painting? So my background is actually in VFX, 3D animation, motion graphics, but in games design as well. And this technique is called normal mapping. So essentially it's taking a texture. If you notice in computer games, you've got a texture of a wall, for example, with bricks on it, but it could look very flat, and if there's a light from a lamp shining down onto it, it's just going to shine across the whole thing sort of evenly. So instead of building each individual brick, what games artists can do is actually generate a normal map, which is creating maybe the high-res geometry of all these different bricks and then generating a normal map out of that. So actually creating a 2D image, like a purpley blue sort of image. I'll show you here now in a second. And using that as part of the texture, so that actually reacts to the light. So when the lamp is shining down, or if somebody walks past with a torch, then it actually highlights the areas of the brickwork where it should be highlighted and casts shadows on the side. And that's essentially what we're doing here. But the interesting thing about this piece is, because it's a physical painting, we actually set it up. I photographed it from different light sources and actually generated the normal map from it, which means that you can create this sort of look for your promo videos. Here it is inside of After Effects, and you can see it in a bit more detail. If I zoom in here, you can see specifically on these areas here. So you can see every blotch of paint or every single brush stroke, and it's all highlighting, which is just a really nice little technique that can help promote your work, specifically if you're paint-based or traditional artist. So that's that there. This is just the light by itself, so I'm actually going to control this over here, so you can see that I can control it left and right, and it's highlighting where I should do. It just takes a second to update. It's quite a large file. Or if I move the light above or below, you can clearly see specifically around these main bump areas here that the light is actually shining up. So it's a really lovely technique. What we've actually done with this as well is not just use it for the promo video to have this piece on Foundation actually shown, but also creating a web version of it. So we will have a gallery where you'll be able to virtually move your mouse about, and actually the light will react to the painting, so it will show up the highlights and the bumps and that sort of thing. This is the image without a normal map on it, so we'll just preview that there. And you can still see it looks nice. There is, you can see obviously the brush strokes and things like that, but there's no reaction to the actual light there, whereas here there's a very defined view of how it's highlighting and making the shadows. So the actual images used here, if I go into my folder, so this is the final painting here. And then we've got the when I was photographing the process for the normal mapping, then this would be the image of the sort of the colored version of it, which was then tinted afterwards. This is the final normal map. If we zoom in there, you can see it's got the weird bluey purpley type of colors, but you've got every little inch ink blot sort of pop up. So that bit there is on your man's foot. So we could actually let's see if we'll zoom out and move this image. It's very heavy, and I'm recording as well. So basically that is his foot there. So if we get the light and shine it across that area, you're going to see that it does some nice highlights and shadows. So yeah, that's the technique there. That's not the technique, that's the end results, I guess. As I said, people will be looking at or asking me how the promo was created. So that's how it was created. If you're interested in a video showing you how to set up, photograph your artwork, and then also generate this normal map out of it, it's a simple enough steps of, but I can show you properly of setting up the lighting setup, which images to take, and then how to process that in Photoshop so that you can generate the normal map. I'll be delighted to create that video too. I'm new enough to the NFT scene, but I think it's fascinating. I love it. I love the fact that artists can actually earn a reoccurring 10% of the revenue of any preceding sales of their artwork. I'm a 3D and VFX artist, as I mentioned at the beginning, so I'm actually starting to put up my own few pieces. So follow me on, or subscribe there on YouTube, but follow me on Twitter there as well, at Mongey. Thanks very much for looking at this video. I hope you got something out of it, and do in the comments below let us know if you want me to actually go through the whole process of how you can do this yourselves. Cool, talk to you.